no matter where you're moving, it's important to know what you can get for your dollar and where. So in this video, we're going to look at the west side suburbs in the Portland, Oregon metro area, primarily in Washington County. So these are going to be areas like Beaverton and Tigard and Hillsboro, areas that are very, very popular for people to move to when they're relocating to Portland from out of state. So if you want to learn more about these suburbs, how the market's doing, what you can get for your dollar, and more, we're going to talk about it. All that starts now. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Paul Clem with the Oregon Relocation Team coming to you from unincorporated Washington County today. And Washington County is part of the Tri-County area in the Portland metro area, one of the three primary counties mostly on the west side of the metro area. So again, this is going to include areas like Beaverton and Hillsboro and Tigard and Sherwood and Tualatin, and there are several pockets of Washington County that are unincorporated. We're going to talk about that some more in this video. So how is the market doing in this area? What should you expect if you are thinking about moving to Portland, looking at these suburbs in terms of what areas are going to be more expensive? Where are the bigger homes? Where are the newer homes, the nicer homes? Where are more people gravitating toward? And what are the areas that people tend to stay away from? When you look at these suburbs, you have areas like Beaverton and Hillsboro, Beaverton being like 20 square miles, Hillsboro 23 square miles. Beaverton and Hillsboro are both well over 100,000 people. And then you have areas like Tualatin and Sherwood, for example, which are less than half the size of Beaverton and Hillsboro. So the smaller the community, the smaller the suburb, the more consistency there's going to be in that area. Whereas if you look at like a Beaverton or a Hillsboro, there's a really, really big range as far as age and style of homes and neighborhoods and price ranges. And some areas are going to be really nice and really upscale, and some are going to be middle of the road, and some are going to be more modest. So, but before we go any further, if this is your first time to the channel or you've been here and you haven't already and you want to get more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. So we could break this down more, by neighborhoods within particular suburbs, and we have a lot of videos about specific neighborhoods within these suburbs, and we'll continue to do that. But if you're watching this video, you're likely in a stage where you are getting introduced to Portland and its suburbs, and so the more granular we get, the less sense it's probably going to make. But perhaps you have heard of some of these suburbs that we're going to talk about. And again, in this video, we're going to talk about what areas are hot, what areas are not, what you can get for your dollar, what the typical homes are like in these Washington County suburbs and these unincorporated areas of Washington County. And if you're thinking about moving to Portland or the metro area, if you want to talk more about suburbs or neighborhoods in Portland proper, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link down below in the description of the video and schedule a Zoom call with us. We can talk all about it. There is a ton to learn, and you don't want to get caught in the wrong spot. I don't think that across the board there's an area where I would say, hey, absolutely do not move there, stay away. I think you can find a lot of good things in all of these suburbs, but what's going to actually fit what you're looking for, what's going to work with you within your budget and what you're envisioning, and your proximity to what's in your immediate area and work and places you will be going. Obviously, that's something that you want to be able to get right. So we're going to talk more about these suburbs. If you want to talk more about what it's actually like living there, of course, get in touch. Okay, here we are, rambling already. So let's first talk about the areas that are moving the quickest right now. So we're going to look at MLS data from the past 6 months. When we look at comparable sales and we look at market data, we can compare month over month. We could look at the past 3 months. Transaction volume has been down considerably. So we are not in the market of, COVID era from 2020 to 2022, where the market was absolutely ripping. People were buying and selling homes like crazy. We are on track this year in 2024 to sell fewer homes than any time in the last 30 years. That includes when the housing market crashed in 2008. So again, we're looking at data for the past 6 months purely to give us a snapshot in time as to how we compare and contrast these different suburbs in Washington County. So, okay, again, what are the areas that are selling the quickest? We measure this by days on market. How quickly are homes selling? So So the fastest moving spot in Washington County on the west side of Portland is East Washington County, the unincorporated areas of basically southwest Portland. It's this corridor along 217, just inside 217, where you're basically touching southwest Portland, starting to bleed over into Beaverton, your Beaverton school district, but Portland address, but in Washington County. So it's all a little bit confusing, but this area, East Washington County, is a ton of character, a ton of charm, primarily older homes and older development, all the way up to 100 years old, a lot of mid-century stuff. So to the north, West Haven, and then West Slope, and then Raleigh Hills, Garden Home, and Metzger. Metzger starts to actually bleed into Tigard a little bit, but properly in this category, kind of hugging 217, a little bit southwest Portland, a little bit pushing out into the suburbs, but again in Washington County. So East Washington County, the median days on market is 14 days. So the typical home is going to be under contract after 14 dads of getting listed. Now this is a super popular area. Again, just to give a little context about kind of why this might be in such high demand. You have quick, easy proximity to Portland, quick, easy proximity to Beaverton, and even Hillsboro, where a lot of people relocating to the area very well could be working. Beaverton has a lot of great amenities, a lot of kind of the suburban amenities, big box stores, a lot of great shopping. Similarly, again, all the way out to Hillsboro, but in this corridor inside 217 in East Washington County, again, Garden Home, Raleigh Hills, West Slope, you're going to be like 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes into downtown Portland, depending on the time of day. And again, just the character and the charm that you get in this area is really unmatched. So this is an area that a lot of people gravitate toward, catches a lot of people's eyes. It's an area that I've done a lot of work in this year, so I absolutely love it. It's no surprise that this is the highest demand area in Washington County right now. Now, a very, very close second is Beaverton. 15 days on market is the median in the last 6 months. So, just an extra day than that East Washington County area that we're talking about. We're talking about Beaverton, which is enormous. You have like 13 proper neighborhoods in Beaverton. You have a downtown central area. You have business district. You have nice new development. New construction, you have really old, well-established neighborhoods, you have more kind of urban, suburban feeling neighborhoods, in particular around downtown Beaverton. And Beaverton really has it all. If you want to be a little bit removed from the city, have a little bit of kind of the urban amenities, but also suburban amenities and close proximity to Portland, to the city, Beaverton is going to be it. So second highest demand area right now is Beaverton. And coming in third when we look at demand is North Washington County. So this is another area with unincorporated pockets of Washington County, more suburban than not, but is its own cohesive area. So we're looking at north of Highway 26. So we talked about East Washington County, those areas are unincorporated as well. North Washington County, north of Highway 26, you have Cedar Mill, Oak Hills, and Bethany. Cedar Mill is kind of a mid-century development with a lot of newer amenities too, along Northwest Cornell. You get a little closer to Portland in Cedar Mill. You get up in the West Hills, so you have some newer construction in the last 30 years. And they're still actually building up in that area today. So a lot of Cedar Mill is really this nice West Hills living. And then down Cornell, kind of moving your way west, you get a lot of like the big box stores and grocery stores and restaurants and things like that. And then it starts to bleed into this area called Oak Hills, which we've done a video on. Really cool, huge HOA community. It's on the National Historic Registry because of the charm and the character and the era. You don't really see these big HOA developments that were built over the 50s and 60s. Like you get a lot of the kind of newer HOA developments. This area is really unique, super sought after, checks a ton of boxes. A lot of really cool architecture in there. So Oak Hills is part of this North Washington County area, and then north of Oak Hills, west of Cedar Mill, is Bethany, which is always rated on the top 1, 2, 3 lists of best places to live in the Portland metro area. Really, really nice by so many measures. This is an area that, 30 years ago, there was nothing there. So it's all new, it's all shiny. It's, you have parks and pathways and walkways, and there's this little kind of town center area right in the middle of Bethany, a little golf course there. Bigger homes, newer homes. Again, just a really, really nice area. That is pretty far removed. I mean, you almost get as far west as like you start touching Hillsboro, so you're not as close to Portland necessarily, but again, definitely a really, really nice area. So north of Highway 26, North Washington County, Cedar Mill, Oak Hills, and Bethany, 17 days on market. So unincorporated Washington County is definitely a theme here, where you have that East Washington County close to Portland. Some of North Washington County is pretty close to Portland, but it can get pretty far out, almost all the way out to Hillsboro, but these are super sought after areas. And then Beaverton proper, homes are selling quicker there than in other areas of Washington County. Okay, where are homes sitting longer? What's not necessarily in as high of demand right now? Well, Tigard, it has a median of 27 days on market. So almost double what you're going to get in that East Washington County or Beaverton area. A little bit of a head scratcher here. Tigard doesn't have as much character, let's say, maybe than some other suburbs in Washington County. But part of Tigard is Bull Mountain, which is one of the nicest areas in all of the Portland metro area. When you look at a really nice, purely suburban neighborhood, I mean, Bull Mountain really has it all. It's a little bit further, it's a little bit more removed, so it's a little bit less convenient as far as maybe commuting out to other parts of the Portland metro area. But there's other really nice areas of Tigard too, so it's tough to say exactly why. I think Tigard flies under the radar quite a bit. It doesn't have nearly as much job opportunity as you would get in, say, a Beaverton or Hillsboro, but it's close enough to those areas to be able to live in Tigard and commute. You can get to Portland pretty easily. In fact, on the northeast side of Tigard, you're bordering Portland. So Tigard in and of itself is really kind of considered a closer in suburb. And I mean, there's really some nice neighborhoods there. You have Tualatin and Sherwood, the other two that we haven't talked about yet. Really great suburbs, a lot of similarity between these two areas in a lot of ways. Tualatin is a little bit closer to Portland, and Tualatin's right on I-5. So yes, you're more removed from the city, but you're right on I-5, so you can easily get on the freeway and get up to Portland, or up to 217 to get over to Beaverton, whatever it may be. Sherwood is just about as removed as you can be in the Portland metro area, all the way south and west. And in both Tualatin and Sherwood, the median days on market is 20 days. So kind of right in the middle of that, Tigard being 27 days, and then you have East Washington County, 14 days, Beaverton, 15 days, and 17 days in North Washington County. So there's two ways to look at this. One of the more common questions we get from people is, where do people typically move to? I think if you are moving to Portland or to the metro area from out of state, it's hard to envision what it's going to look like day to day, what a neighborhood or a suburb is going to be like. And so, getting an idea of where other people are moving to is a pretty good strategy for figuring out, okay, what's kind of a safe bet? What's an area that, okay, if other people are moving there, it's probably good, there's probably nothing wrong with it. Or, on the other hand, if not many people are moving to this area, I probably don't want to move there either. I think in this case, again, Tigard is perfectly fine. Tigard, in fact, is a really, really great community. So, I think just looking at where homes are selling quicker or slower, isn't a perfect metric for measuring this, but it is interesting definitely to see what areas are in higher demand and what areas don't quite have that same demand. But really the flip side of this is, if you are gravitating toward an area that has a higher demand, you're going to be more likely to have maybe a little more of an uphill battle, a little bit more challenges in terms of being in more of a competitive situation. So if you focus on a neighborhood, if you focus on the same neighborhood where everybody else wants to be, there's going to be more people competing for the homes that are for sale in those areas. That's not to say that we can't get it done. That just means that you might have to make a little more concessions to compete with other offers. We can control how to make an offer competitive, but we can't control whether or not it's going to be competitive in the first place. So, again, on one hand, focusing on these more popular areas, could put you in more competitive situations. And looking at the areas that maybe don't have as much demand right now, maybe aren't selling as quickly, there's going to be more opportunities there to get a significant discount potentially off the list price, or just being more buyer friendly on the terms that we can get when you're buying in these areas. So if you're looking at a home that's been on the market for a couple of days in a really popular area, you probably got to move really quickly. And again, we can expect some competition. If you're looking at a home that's been on the market for 30, 45, 60 days and there's no competition, those are drastically different scenarios. Although there are strategies to achieve the best outcome in either circumstance. So again, I think it's important to take both of those sides of the same coin into consideration. All right, let's look at pricing, and let's look at the typical home size. So this will tell a little bit of a story too. So where are the most expensive places, or where are the places that homes are selling for the most? Sometimes the area that has the highest median sale price isn't necessarily the most expensive area in and of itself. It just means there's larger homes or newer homes, for example, larger lots. There's things that are bringing that median sale price up, but perhaps the price per square foot is more competitive, where you can get more for your dollar even though the median sale price is higher. So the most expensive area in Washington County is this North Washington County, north of Highway 26, Cedar Mill, Oak Hills, and Bethany, with a median sale price of $825,000. Next, it's East Washington County. So you see a theme here. These are popular areas where homes are selling for more. There are larger homes here too. So it's a little more expensive. Homes are a little bit larger, and these areas are in higher demand. East Washington County, $792,000 on the median sale price. And then you have Sherwood, $725,000 as a median sale price. So kind of what I was getting at with that example is, you look at Sherwood, again, it's about as far removed as you can get from the city. And in general, the closer you get to the city, the more expensive homes are. The further out you get, the more affordable things tend to get. But Sherwood is an area that has completely changed in the last 15, 20, 25 years. And there's still a ton of new construction going on there. So many of the homes that are being sold are larger and newer on average, which is going to bring up the median sale price. It's not like Sherwood is this luxury community per se, or head and shoulders nicer or better than an area that is closer in, say Beaverton, for example. But again, it's very purely suburban, larger, bigger single family homes, and again, newer. So that's going to bring up the median sale price. And then, no surprise, the areas that are most affordable in Washington County are Hillsboro and Beaverton. It really depends on where in these communities you would be purchasing. But in Hillsboro, $585,000 the median sale price, and in Beaverton, it's right at $600,000. A big part of that is because there's a larger offering of smaller homes. Hillsboro has the largest new construction development going on in the Portland metro area in Reed's Crossing, but they're building a ton of 13, 14, 1,500 square foot homes, 2-3 bedroom homes that kind of cater to that middle tier of the market, and create more affordable housing, which is awesome. So in Hillsboro, you can get new construction and you don't have to necessarily pay an arm and a leg, where there are a lot of communities where all of the new construction is going to be like 2,400 to 3,200 square feet. You're going to be paying at least $850, up to 1.2 million in some of these developments. So a really big contrast there. And again, in Beaverton and Hillsboro, you're more likely to find something that's more affordable, but there are certainly a lot of neighborhoods in Beaverton and Hillsboro where homes are going to be more expensive. Now, Tigard and Tualatin are both about $675,000 median sale price. Tigard and Tualatin are really pretty different. They share a border. They're bitter rivals, the two high schools. But Tigard is going to be a lot more similar to Beaverton, just on a smaller scale, Whereas Tualatin is going to be, say, more similar to like a Sherwood, but it's just a little more established. It's more filled in. There's not as much room to grow there because, you know, so much of Tualatin has already been developed. But both of these areas about $675,000. And that's really no surprise. I mean, these areas are really pretty middle of the road when you look at pricing. I think in particular in Tualatin, you can get really great bang for your buck there. So definitely a big range. Again, you know, when you zoom all the way out, you don't really capture kind of the nuances of, you know, comparing this neighborhood to this neighborhood within a suburb. But I think it is important going into this understanding, okay, you know, what are the higher end, higher priced areas? What are kind of the lower end, lower priced areas, and what's going to be middle of the road? You know, another way to illustrate this is just the median or average, in this case, square footage of homes in a particular area. So in East Washington County, it's 2,700 square feet. And in East Washington County, you don't have, you know, these all this new construction and new development. So these are old, big homes, like very stately, very cool architecture, really more similar to a lot of what you can get on the east side of the river. And I think that's a really big part of the draw to Raleigh Hills and Garden Home and West Slope and again, this East Washington County area. In North Washington County, you know, the most expensive part of Washington County, north of Highway 26, it's also going to be 2,700 square feet average square footage. But these are newer homes too. So definitely a contrast there, but you can get on average larger homes in this area. You know, that's part of why these areas are so much higher priced than the others. Sherwood and Tualatin, 2,500 square feet is the average, and Tigard, 2,400 square feet. And then Beaverton, 2,100 square feet, and Hillsboro, 2,000 square feet is the average. So again, looking at Beaverton and Hillsboro, closer to 2,000 square feet, that's because there's a much larger housing stock of starter homes, smaller homes, you know, whatever, homes to downsize to, you know, however you would want to categorize that. There's just a lot more smaller homes in these areas, making it, you know, making Hillsboro and Beaverton areas where you can find more affordable options. So if you are thinking about moving to Portland, if you want to talk about the suburbs, if you want to talk about Washington County or east side of the river in Clackamas County, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link down below in the description of the video. Schedule a Zoom call with us. We can talk all about it. If this video is helpful, make sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot. If you want to get more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button, tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. As always, we really appreciate you watching, and until next time, we'll talk to you later.